If the winter season gets heavy for you, these 3 herbs can help to connect you with your body, soften your mind, and reconnect you with intuition to guide you along the way. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about 3 herbs that can be helpful for anxiety. We are in December as this video is being recorded, and it is close to holiday season. There's so many things that come up at this time of the year, and anxiety could be one of them because it can be busy, and it can also be anxiety about the grieving that's happening. It could also be anxiety about going to spaces with family where it can be a challenge. This is just the real of what we experience for many people at this time of the year, along with all of the beautiful things too, because there are beautiful things that happen during holiday seasons. But we're going to talk about 3 herbs that I found to be very helpful with managing nervousness and anxiety, and it's been thought to be helpful in those areas. So this is informational. It's not diagnostic. It is not claiming to be a cure. It is that it is something that can help remedy some experiences that people are having. My name is Crystal. I am the Spiritual Psych MP, and I help to bring about change from a spiritual lens that can help our overall well-being, especially our mental well-being. And we are going to get started. We're going to get started. So 3 herbs that I wanted to mention. I've used all of these, some more than others, and that's the way I love to experience herbs first, is to study myself with these plants so that I can, understand how it impacts me and my body. It's a great way to slow down and give attention to yourself, to turn inward, to pay attention to how you're feeling internally and then how that impacts you externally. So the first herb that we're going to do, as I look at my notes, because I want to make sure I share everything that I wanted to share with you. So the first herb is called blue lotus. Blue lotus, another name for it is Nymphaea noshali, and I might have spelled that wrong. But blue lotus, I have some here. This blue lotus is mixed with a sweetener called stevia. But I got this, I had visited Vietnam and was able to do a workshop with a medicine woman there, and she had this lotus, blue lotus there. And so I haven't used her stock, but I've used blue lotus in the past. So blue lotus has been used in what's been really interesting to me is its tracings back to ancient Egypt, and that it had been found to be buried with some of the Egyptians there who were buried in their tombs, that this plant was found to be with them in those. So it dates back so far. And I always I study a lot about ancient Egypt to understand what they were doing to sustain themselves for so long. Their dynasty lasted so long. And it made me want to understand what they've done to be able to do that. What are their practices? So to hear that blue lotus is a herb that they had in those times is something that makes me more drawn to it now. So it dates back from Africa. If we don't know, Egypt is in Africa. And so it dates back to Africa. It also has been used a lot in traditional Chinese medicine, which is a whole science within itself, in its benefits. And it is, it's been used for issues with nervous disorders that people have. So when we think of that, we can think of, how do you feel when you're riled up? So it's been used for nervous disorders. Also, it's been used for people who feel restless and have difficulty with being able to sit still because they are so restless, if that's you. And also, it's been used for people who deal with challenges with sleep or some form of insomnia. It's been thought to be helpful to help with being able to sleep more restfully. And it has been used as a sedative in the past in traditional medicine or Chinese medicine. So back in the 1800s, it was used for issues with sleep. It was used for depression. It was also used to help manage schizophrenia in those times. And it does, according to its literature, work on certain pathways in the brain that can impact dopamine. And dopamine is the chemical that is found in too high amounts in certain parts of the brain when someone is dealing with schizophrenia. So that's Blue Lotus. Blue Lotus, I have it just prepackaged like this. So the way that this is assembled is to utilize it in a tea. But most herbs, you can also use them as tinctures. But these I'll be using as teas. All right. So that was Blue Lotus. The second herb I'm going to mention to you is, it's Damiana. And I have the wrong herb pulled out for that. Hold on, let me get the right one. So the next herb we're going to look at is Damiana. Damiana, I have a lot of Damiana. I really do like Damiana. I'll actually be working with Damiana for myself this week because it's been a while since I've used Damiana. But other name for Damiana is Tenera diffusa. And it's an aromatic herb, meaning that it does impact you even by its fragrance. Its smell, it has essential oil to it, but its fragrance has been thought to be relaxing and supportive in being uplifting as well. So this has been found in areas, some parts of the U.S., also in Central and in the South America. Also in the Caribbean, it's been found to be used. It's been grown there. So Damiana. And Damiana has been thought to be helpful with uplifting the mood and also helping as a relaxant. Also helping to enhance if you have a low libido. Yeah, it's been thought to help with increasing a low libido to help you have a sex drive. So some people, and I always think about that in an interesting way because working in psychiatry, there are many medications that are prescribed that actually make the libido lower. And people, especially younger people, will come to me and they'll complain about not having any desire to have sex with their partner, which we know that can be a problem when you're in a relationship. But Damiana has been thought to help with low libido, and so to help your sex drive. Also has been thought to help balance hormones like estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone in men and women. So that's another benefit of how this plant has been used. So that is Damiana. Let me think, did I want to mention anything else about Damiana? Let me smell it right now, actually, since it has that aromatics to it. Oh, yes. Ooh. Oh, it does smell lovely. It really smells so nice. It's, and we can take those types of things for granted when we are utilizing things in our day-to-day that these things have been created, and even the smell, let's not underestimate what we inhale and how that impacts us. So Damiana has a beautiful fragrance to it, and it is thought to help, again, with relaxing and uplifting the mood. So that's Damiana. And last, we're going to talk about one that I've mentioned a number of times. This is one of my favorite herbs, and it is mugwort. Mugwort. Yep, I love mugwort. Another name for it is Artemisia vulgaris. And it is an herb that some very common ways it has been used is to help with like women's issues in terms of their menstruation. It has helped with more like irregular cycles for people. So it does have that component that it has been used for in the past, but also in terms of mental health, it's been thought to be helpful with anxiety, and to helping with people who deal with headaches, which when you think about someone who deals with a lot of headaches or pain, that can cause mental anguish too. If you're having these chronic issues, it's hard to, function and have a good time when you're dealing with a lot of headaches. My daughter used to have a lot of headaches, and when she was having those headaches for an extended amount of time, it really did take away from her enjoyment in her day-to-day life. So if you're someone who deals with headaches, mentioning this about mugwort. Also, though, for insomnia, so mugwort has been helpful with sleep, which I have benefited from mugwort in that way, utilizing it at night. Mugwort is one of the herbs I was using at the beginning of 2025 when I wanted to tap into my dreams and intuition more. So it also has a lot of thought around its ability with enhancing intuition and helping with dreams. So I've definitely experienced that. I've had like some magical experiences with dreams at the beginning of this year utilizing mugwort, and I feel like my intuition has heightened and I'm more tapped into that more, which is a beautiful way to continue down this journey of life, to understand that it's not just about what's right in front of me. There's communication that happens in different ways that can be very beneficial. So that's how I've experienced mugwort. You would have to see how you experience mugwort for yourself, as well as Blue Lotus and the Damiana. You know, these are things, one of the things I love to do with clients is to study ourselves in the midst of things, just, you know, studying how something is impacting you and taking note of that and not blowing that off. Like, these are real things. Sometimes when it comes to studying yourself with these herbs, it requires you to slow down some, which is never a bad thing, but to be able to slow down some so that you can pay attention. Because sometimes the benefits or the changes start out subtle, but because something is subtle does not make it powerful. It is subtle, and before you know it, you're like, wow, I didn't even notice this shift, but suddenly here I am feeling less nervous, feeling more joy, having a better sex drive. You know, these things can be there and come subtly, but then be something that impacts your life in a major way. So let me know if you've ever tried any of these herbs, and if this video was beneficial to you. Put a heart in the comments, and please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will be back next week with another video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.